Hello and welcome. I'm Raghav, and today we are going to learn how to create page object model design in our Protractor framework. And this is going to be very easy and very interesting. And if you do not have any prior knowledge on page object model, do not worry. I'm going to go very basic step by step and we will start from scratch. So let's get started and we will learn what is page object model, how to implement page object model in our Protractor framework, and we will also see a demo. So I will go to Google first and search for page object model, and here I will go to the images section and let us see this image. So here you can see in the page object model design we have a separate folder called pages, and we store all the objects into different files, and we have a file for every web page on the application. For example, if I go to any of the web application, let's say this is the Orange HRM demo application, and here we have a login page here. So we will create a separate file for login page and we will store all the object locators like a locator for this username, text box, password text box, and login button into that file, and also the actions we will do on these elements in that file. Similarly, we will have a separate file for home page and so on. So you can see here we have a separate file for login page. It will have the object locators and actions on login page. Similarly for home page and so on. And all these files are stored separately in a separate folder called pages. And then for the test scripts, we have a separate folder called tests, and here we have the test script files, and these test scripts will refer the object locators and the actions from the these pages file. If we see this image, here you can see on the left section we have a no page object model structure where we have the object locators, actions on objects, as well as the test scripts all stored in a single file or a single class. Here on the right side we have a page object model based structure where you can see the object and its method are stored separately in a separate class or a separate file, and the test scripts in a separate file, and they both can talk to each other. So here to start, before I start with the demo, I will write down this. We separate objects, and here by objects we mean the element locators, objects or element locators, and actions in separate files, and we create one file for each web page. And the third thing is test scripts can refer element locators and actions from these files. So this in very simple words is page object model, and the advantage here is now because all our objects and its actions are stored separately, so it becomes very easy to do any changes. For example, these objects or these actions are referred into 100 test cases. If there is any change in the object or the actions, we just have to go to that particular file, the page file, and change it there, and it will be referred in all the 100 test cases, and we do not have to change it everywhere. And you will just see this in the demo. So let me now go to my Visual Studio Code, and here I will go to the Protractor project demo that we created earlier, and here you can see we have two folders: conf folder which has conf.js, and tests folder where we have the spec files, and we created the calculator test in the earlier section in the earlier video. So let's see this. Here you can see here we have all the object locators and the actions and all the test scripts in a single file. So let us convert this into page object model. The very first step will be I will create a new folder called pages, and I can go to the folder project folder on my system, which is this Protractor demo, and here I have conf and tests. I will create a new folder here, and I will call this as pages. Now you can name it anything, but as standards it is good to name it like pages, so we know that this is a page object model. And now if I go to my Visual Studio Code, I have got the pages folder here. Now inside this pages folder, I will create a new file. I can click on this new file icon here, or I can just do a right click and say new file. And here uh, our application, let me go to the application, because I just want to convert the same test that we created on the calculator application into page object model. If I go and see the application, this is the application. So here we have a single page. So let me just try to bring this up. So you can see this application, this is a demo application, and here we just have a single page. We do not have multiple pages like login page and then home page and so on. So we just need to create a single file for this. So it is taking some time. Yeah, it is up now. So here you can see we just have a single page, and the objects we have is the text box where we enter the first number, then the second number text box, and then the go button. This is what we created in the last session. So I will create a new file and I will name it as home page. So let us say this is the home page because we have a single page, homepage.js, and hit enter. And here I have got the file. Now here I will say, I'll create a variable. I will say let home page, you can name it anything, equals to, I will create a function and curly brackets start and close and a semicolon, and I can put it into new line, and I will now inside this variable home page and inside this function, now I will add all the object locators and the functions. So I will go to my calculator.js and let me just copy the object locators we created earlier. So here we have the element locator for the first number or the first number text box. I will copy it from here, go to homepage.js, paste it here. Sorry, it should be, let me copy it again. I'll copy it, and I'm not copying the action, I'm just copying the locator, and I will paste it here. And here I will store it into a variable. I will say let first number, and I will say underscore input. You can give it any name, but it is useful to give some meaningful name so that everyone can understand. So I know this is a first number and it is a input type. You can also say underscore text box or something. So this is the element locator. Similarly, I will create for second number, which is again an input, and I will copy again from our calculator.js file and put it here. And then we have the go button. I will say let go button equals, and I will copy the locator for this and I will put it here. So now we have got the locators for all our three elements that we are using on this page. I will now create actions or functions for action. So I will say this dot, let me say enter first number, and this is a variable, so I will create a function and store it in this variable, and here I can write the code for this function. Now just in case you find anything difficult here in the functions of JavaScript, you can go to my website, that is automationstepbystep.com, and you can go to online courses. You can also go to the YouTube channel, that is Automation Step by Step, and here you will find a course on JavaScript. So you can see it is here. It will take you to the YouTube playlist for JavaScript, and here you will find a video on functions. So if you search for functions here, you will find a video here for function, So you can see it is here. You can watch this. It is very basic. So this will help you. So here I'm just creating a variable, enter first number, and creating a function for this. And here I will say first number input, which is here. Now I can just use this variable first number input dot, and the action is send keys. So I will say send keys, and here now I can do a hard coding. But if I do a hard coding, this will not be reusable. So I will just take a parameter in this function. I will say here first number. I can give any name here, and the same thing I will use here. So this I will pass from the test script. Whatever number I pass will come here, and that will be used here. So now I have not hard coded this. Similarly, I will create another function, enter second number, and here again I will say this is a function, and here I will say I have stored it in the variable second number underscore input dot send keys, and here again I will take it in the function parameter. I will say this is second number, and I will use it here. Then I have to click on the go button, so I will say this dot click go, and again I will say this is a function, and here I will just say go button dot click, and that's it. So now I have created all the functions for all the actions we have to do on these objects. And also let us see, we are also doing some other functions, like we are verifying the result here. So I will also copy this and create it as a function in home page. So I will create another function. I will say this dot verify result, and here again this is a function, and I will put the code here. Now here I have to pass the result here. So let us take this in the function parameter, otherwise it will not be reusable. So I will say here result, and I can use the same thing here, and this result will be passed from the test scripts. And now because I have already used result variable, let me say this, I will change to output, and I will say output.getText should be equal to whatever result I have passed. So this will also verify result. And now we also have browser.get. We can also take this in the homepage.js, so that we do not do any action here. We do all the actions in homepage.js. So I will also create another function at the starting. I will say this dot get, and this is again a function, and I will say here browser.get. Now again I will not hard code the URL, otherwise it will not be reusable. I will take the URL as a parameter in the function and use it here. Alright, so this is the homepage file, and this is, I have created all the actions, all the object locators are here, and then all the actions are here. And now you can see the advantage is, if any of these object or these locators goes any changes in the future, I will just have to come here on this homepage.js and change it here, and I do not have to go to any other test script. Similarly, if there is any change in the action, I will just be changing it here at one single place. Now I will also have to expose this particular functions or everything in this file, so that it can be used by any external file. So for that, in JavaScript we say module dot export equals to new homepage. So here we say module.export equals to new, and whatever is the variable name we have. So the variable name we have given is homepage. So we say homepage. So now it can be referred into any external file, and the external file we want to refer is calculator.js, which is our test script file, because we have to use the functions and actions here. So now I will go to calculator.js, and here at the very top before describe, I will say let homepage. So I'm creating a variable homepage equals to, I will say require. It is like importing from any other file, and in the brackets in single quotes I will say dot, I will put here dot forward slash, and now you can see it is able to access example underscore spec.js, hello.js, and these two files are present in the same folder where calculator.js is present. But we want to access homepage.js, which is available in a different folder. So here I can give two dots to go one level up, and now it can access pages folder. So I will click on pages, and from here I have to get homepage.js. So let me take this, and it is not auto completing it. So let me just go back to homepage and see if there is any issue here. I think this should be module.exports. Module.exports. Let me check here. And now if I say here, so I should be getting it here. I will get pages, or it's modules.export. Let me just check this very quick. Okay, so it should be pages and then homepage. Now this should be fine. Let me just check. So now we have stored it into a homepage, and now I can use homepage to access any action or any method or variable from the homepage.js. So the very first thing is here, instead of browser.get and giving this statement, I need to get it from the homepage. So I will say homepage dot get. I'm not getting the function, so let me just check here again very quickly. And now if I say homepage dot get, yes, now I'm getting. So now this is fine. And here I will just provide the URL, which is this. And then instead of this statement where we are finding first number text box and doing the action, I will say homepage dot enter first number. Similarly, here I will say homepage dot enter second number, and also we have to pass the number. So I will pass here, let us say 4, and here I will pass 3, and then we have to click on the go button. So here I will say homepage dot click go, and it is also auto completing, you can see here. And then instead of these two statements which are verifying the result, I will just say here homepage dot verify result, and the result I want to verify is 7, because 4 plus 3 should give me 7. I will put 7 here, and then that's it. So now you can see how clean our code looks like, and I will save this, and I will go to this terminal and open a new terminal. I can also do it from command line, but we have an inbuilt terminal in Visual Studio Code, and here I will say I'm on the project folder here, so I can say Protractor and conf file and conf.js, and also make sure in your conf.js you are running the same spec file, that is calculator.js. So I will now run this and check. I will press enter and let's see, it opens the browser, and yes, it is doing all the things 7, and this is done. If I go and check the terminal output, here you can see everything is fine. It says 1 spec and 0 failures, and a single green dot means a single test was run successfully. So now we are able to do this, and even if I now delete all these statements that we do not need, that we have commented out, and I will also select everything and do a right click, and I will say format selection. So now everything is formatted, and you can see how clean our test looks like, and it is very easy to maintain and enhance. If I have any changes, I can just go to the homepage.js and make all the changes at a single location, and this is how we can achieve page object model design in our Protractor framework. So I hope this was very useful for you. Thank you so much for watching.